Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Bullion dealers predict higher prices and a busy marketplace. Let's explore. When we think about higher prices, most of us think about the spot price of gold and silver. But over the past year and a half, well, it's been more than just spot price. Higher premiums have plagued the community and those of us who want to preserve our wealth with gold and silver. And that is something that is not going away. Many people feel that the premiums, though they have subsided a bit, the higher premiums are here to stay for a while. I do remember a time when the prices for gold and silver were much lower, but especially for silver, the percentage tied to the cost to buy these things and the premium percentage was actually much higher then than it is now, because the price of silver was so low that if you attach a $2 premium on top of it, that's actually a higher percentage than where the price is now, and there's a $4 to $6 or $8 premium on top of it. It's pretty fascinating when you think about it, but that is actually the one reason why I advise against stacking copper bullion, because the price of it is so low compared to the spot price and the manufacturing cost. But that's sort of another discussion, but it does tie in with these premiums that many of us feel are pretty much we've created new normals for these premiums for gold and silver coins. But the bullion dealers that are out there, they predict a busy marketplace, and they also predict higher gold and silver prices at the end of the year. And believe it or not, their predictions are rather tepid, and essentially they're numbers that we've already seen this year. But we have not recaptured those levels yet. This comes to us from Numismatic News, and the Professional Numismatist Guild is making these predictions here, and that's made up of a group of bullion dealers. A bullion dealers organization is predicting that at the year end, gold will close at $1,897, pretty specific price, I will say, rather than a rounded up number, which would be $1,900. And silver at $28, and platinum at $1,153, and perhaps go higher before dropping back. So pretty interesting that they make those specific number predictions. The forecast was made by members of the accredited Precious Metals Dealers Program of the Professional Numismatist Guild, PNG, which was actually founded back in 1954. It's a nonprofit organization of dealers who adhere to a strict code of ethics in the buying and selling of bullion, rare coins, and vintage paper money. Now that is interesting, and I think it's praiseworthy. But some of us, and again, I understand the high premiums and why they're there to an extent, but in some cases, some of the ethics involved maybe ought to be explained maybe by some of these bullion dealers, such as price throttling and the like. Again, the free market is what it is, but there is a sort of a level of maybe sending kind of a sour message when you do that kind of thing. And of course, with the Mint's ABPP program, that has thrown in another level of complexity, and maybe some feel like we're being taken advantage of with those programs. But nonetheless, that's another subject. The estimate for the year-end prices for gold, silver, and platinum are the mean averages of price predictions made by 25 accredited dealers across the country who responded to an informal survey. So there you go. That's how they got those numbers and why they are specific, and kind of odd numbers there. That's pretty interesting. I find that's fascinating. We're hearing from dealers that many longtime customers are taking advantage of the recently lowered bullion prices to cost average their precious metals investments, said Richard Weaver, PNG president. We're also hearing about new buyers entering the marketplace because of the high demand for new designs of the 2021 dated United States Mint American Gold and Silver Eagle Bullion coins. Some of the dealers think gold will go over 2,000, but settle back by year's ends. I'm one of those that thinks that we might see $2,000 before the year ends. This is from Barry Stupler, former P&G president, who conducted the survey. No one has a crystal ball to know exactly what the future will be, said Weaver. The accredited precious metals dealer program members who responded to our survey based their forecast on years of being on the front lines of the bullion markets. It's something to be said. I think that their experience tells us something, and I tend to agree with it. A lot of these bullion dealers, they're on the pulse with the markets as much as anybody else. They kind of have to be for their livelihood. He advised investors to make price comparisons before making purchases and to beware of counterfeits offered online by unscrupulous sellers. That's for sure. Facebook is chock full of them. It's ironic that Facebook will allow these companies to sell fake gold and silver coins, but if you have an opinion about a certain subject, well, you're banned. And they'll catch you pretty quick, too. Always be mindful of the premiums being charged over the intrinsic value of the precious metal coins or ingots, he cautioned. Yeah, exactly. You got to be mindful of the premiums. I've talked about that at the beginning of this video. You absolutely need to know your precious metals dealer. Very, very true. There are 48 members of the Professional Numismatist Guild accredited precious metal dealers, P&G, APMD, and each underwent a background check before being admitted to the program. They now must adhere to strict code of ethics in the buying and selling of bullion and numismatic items and guarantee the authenticity of the coins and bars they sell. And there's a directory of the members can be found here, and we're going to take a look at that. And whenever you go onto a bullion dealer website, you can look for the symbol, the P&G symbol on their page and see if they are part of it. But here we can see, they've got, this is their, I guess, all of their folks that are involved. Yeah, there we go. So these are the individual members and the companies that they have. Some of these are rare coin dealers. And there are others. Let's see here. Some of these, Pinehurst is a part of it. Okay, very good. And let's see. And I guess you could search by state. So there's only 48. So imagine, I thought they would have a whole list here. But nonetheless, some of these dealers I recognize, others not. But very interesting and very, very cool. There's general members as well. Silvertown, recognize that. Harlan Burke is another one should be recognizable for those who are coin collectors out there, for sure. But a lot of these are dealers indeed. So very interesting indeed. Fascinating information and quite interesting predictions here by the members of this organization. So let me know what your thoughts are about this. When we buy gold and silver, we want to be sure that we're making a sound financial decision. And notice I didn't say investment there because, again, I look at the word investment. Investment is a word that certainly has a broad meaning overall. You invest in a good pair of shoes, although when you put the shoes on for the first time, you're unlikely you're going to get back what you paid for them. Same thing with the driving a brand new vehicle off the lot. Becomes a used car the minute you drive off their property. So there's different matters and different things how you define investment. So when you stack gold and silver, you are investing in a hedge. When you think about that, and that is the protection of your value, the value of the money that you have earned. You are freeze framing the purchasing power of your money when you buy silver and gold. And that is often very difficult concept to grasp when the spot prices go low. especially if they fall directly after you make a purchase. So you have to think about it long term. And it's not just about silver long term because of the volatility of that metal. It takes a lot longer. But also with gold. So when bullion dealers out there are predicting higher prices by the year's end, that doesn't mean that the following year they may fall. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.